Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for FIU CIBER to present this webinar about personal branding with Gracia Sánchez del Real, who was here with us in Miami recently. And she has a lot to say about this topic. And she has prepared a presentation. The presentation will be held in English, but also we will use Spanish. So for all of you who has questions or remarks, you can use either of the languages and she will be happy to answer. So we are the Center for International Education and Research at FIU Business, and we are really pleased to have you today, Gracia.
Hello, Luciana. Hello, everybody. Really nice meeting you. Hello from Madrid. Hola desde Madrid. Y buenos días para vosotros, buenas tardes para nosotros, que estamos aquí, son las 5 de la tarde. Y nada, un placer poder estar con vosotros hablando de algo tan importante como es el personal branding y sobre todo la voz que cada uno de nosotros, que cada uno de vosotros tenéis y cómo le podemos dar un poquito más de ánimo y desarrollo a esa voz y a vuestras ideas también. Encantada, Luciana.
Gracias.
Cuando queráis, tú me dices y arrancamos, ¿sí?
Sí, yo creo que podemos ir comenzando para ir poniendo la presentación y ya la gente se irá conectando paulatinamente.
Ok, pues si me permitís, bueno, os voy a contar un poquito sobre mí mientras hablo sobre la presentación, ¿vale? And please tell me if you can see my presentation right now.
Yes,
Okay?
yes, we can see it.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So if you wish, I will start the presentation. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me on this webinar on personal branding. As Luciana said right now, my name is Gracia Sánchez del Real. Me llamo Gracia Sánchez del Real. I'm from Spain, from Madrid, and I have developed my career in the technology and digital industry for more than 25 years now. So yeah, really, I'm a little bit older than you, a little bit of a dinosaur in the internet and the digital area. So the thing is that I've been seeing many changes in all through these years. The latest being all what the artificial intelligence is giving us and it's going to give us in the next year. So I'm very excited to talk about all this process, and also a very important thing that I've been working on for very many years now, that's personal branding for me and for other people. And personal branding really has helped me in my career, even when I didn't even know what personal branding was, because one of the most important things that personal branding gives us is that we're doing personal branding all the time, even if we don't think about it, even if we don't know that we're doing personal branding. So it's better to control your personal brand and to connect with the world and start talking about yourself and what the things that you do. So that's what we're going to talk about in this seminar. Okay, so this is the agenda. I hope you can see it. We're going to be separating the seminar in 3 parts. Okay. This workshop, I want to make you work a little bit on yourselves and think about what you're going to do and how are you going to process all this information and the tools that you may use to work on your personal branding. It doesn't matter if you already have a personal branding or if you're starting from scratch, doesn't matter. So please get a pen and a paper or your computer or your phone, doesn't matter, and get ready to work a little bit. We're going to be exploring the concept of personal branding, which is essential these days. It doesn't matter if you work on digital space or not, because we're all digital every single day, right? So we're going to work on 4 practical activities afterwards on creating your personal branding strategy. It's going to be 4 practical activities to kickstart your brand, okay? And we will also going to talk about the critical role that social media, especially LinkedIn, in the business aspects is going to take in building your brand, and also a little bit about how artificial intelligence may help you in all this part, okay? So I want to tell you a little bit about myself through all the process of this workshop, and I hope we can all learn a little bit more and start working to be better on our personal brands and how we present ourselves, okay? Let me start with the first part, that's understanding personal branding and why it's so important. I was telling you before that I started to work in the digital space and the technology development since I started my career, but I didn't study technology at the beginning because I studied political science and also communication. I studied advertising. So I really didn't know anything about technology. But what I did know and I really enjoyed a lot was talking to people and getting to know people. And I was very interested. Most of the time, I was very intense in being interested in what others had to say. So communication for me was very important. And I also like, I like movies very much. So I really like to, you're gonna see a lot of quotes. And this, I think through my whole experience, doesn't matter what type of works or projects I've been doing, one of the most important things is the key, that's personal relationships, right? You may think that personal relationships, when it comes to digital, it don't matter that much, but right now it matters more than anything, you know, because we are most of the time talking to people in the digital space, and we have to make sure that we made like very positive interactions. We really connect with them, and also that they know what we're talking about. So this is my first quote for you from the movie Jerry Maguire, which is a really good movie that I recommend to you. It's the key to this business, and I would say to all business, is personal relationships, right? And personal relationships, when we're talking about technology, we talk about digital space, it's absolutely crucial. So why is personal branding so important? What do you think it matters? Well, as I told you before, most of the time, you don't even know you're doing personal branding. When you talk to a people, but when you talk to a person that has looked into you, maybe looked into social media, they have connected with you in maybe an event or whatever, or they know a friend, they might have an image about who you are and what you do, right? And you have no control about that image. So if you can control your personal branding and start controlling how other people perceive you, so and make sure that they know what you're doing, a strong personal brand can really open doors to get new opportunities. It can enhance your personal reputation. It can create meaningful connections, more than connections that are like, you know, many people just send you an email to get in contact and you don't really care about them because you don't know them and maybe you don't give them the opportunity, right? So whether you're looking for a job or you're running a business or you're, I don't know, aiming to climb the corporate ladder, you're starting and you want to be noticed and known, personal brand can really set you apart from the competition, and really you can have that reputation and you can establish yourself as a thought leader in your field, right? Like you have to let people know that you know about what you're saying, talking about, that you care about what you're talking about, and that you are important in your field, right? So really you need to control that concept of personal brand. But what is a personal brand really? Is it, do I have to, you know, be constantly posting things in LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok or whatever? Do I have to use video? Do I have to use different things? Well, personal branding really is the practice of marketing yourself and your career as a brand. And as important as this is, the most important thing is that it's special and different for each one of you. Each one of you have a different brand. And that's why it's so important to have your own personal brand. And this brand has to be authentic, and you really need to work on the ideas that you're throwing. And it's about, as I said before, managing how others perceive you, right? And also to establish that reputation. So when you send that email to someone, when you shake their hands because you see them in an event, or when you go and make an interview, they already know who they're talking to. They have a first idea of who they're talking to. Even many times, it's like they know your strength, they know your values, they know a little bit about your ideas. And that is so important, that can give you really a connection to all the people around you. And mostly the audiences or the people that you really care about. Because maybe you're looking for a job, or maybe you just you want to get in a specific field that you're not. So really it can, I was talking about how this business, all business is about personal relationships. Well, personal brand, it is about personal relationships. Just keep this in mind, because this is the most important part of it all, right? So think about, when you think about, I don't know, well-known people, like famous people, like, I don't know, everybody talks, for instance, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk. You have, if you think about them, please think about, put them in your head for a minute, and think about, for instance, Elon Musk. What words come to mind when you think about that person? You can write that down if you want. I'm sure you get like, I don't know, entrepreneurship, billionaire, innovation, technology. What else? I mean, you get a lot of different thoughts about this person in your minds, right? That's because you come through the personal brand of that person, and you don't know them at all, right? Because they're always switching to, you know, show you who they are in little pieces, and you're gathering all this information, and you think that you know them, right? But is personal brand, you may think that is, some people think that it's just for famous people, right? Right now in my window, you can have like a lot of famous people. I bet you know who they are, right? We have people that are older than you, younger, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lopez, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Bob Bunny, Elon Musk that we talked before, Kim Kardashian, LeBron James, RuPaul. I mean, Martha Stewart. Each of one of these people, of this person, they have a very strong brand. And if you think about them, I bet you can write a list of at least 10 ideas that come to mind when you think about, I don't know, choose one of these people, these persons, and write it down, okay? What ideas come to mind when you think about Zendaya, or when you think about LeBron James, right? What are the values that you think that come to mind? This is because they have a very strong personal brand, okay? But keeping that in mind, is personal brand for everybody, or is only for famous people? Well, right now we have many people. Maybe you know some of the ones that I'm showing you right now in the screen. Many people right now, they're well known in their areas. They're very well known in their fields. They have millions of followers, and maybe the big public don't know about them, right? Because they have personal brands that are strictly focused on their business, right? On the areas, if they are, it doesn't matter if they're students or if they are starting their careers. So really, personal brand right now is for everybody that want to start. You can have, I mean, obviously you have like all different levels of how can your personal brand go. We were talking before, as famous people or these people, they have a lot of resources and even people that help them, right, in the personal brand endeavors. But really, you can start building that personal brand in the digital and also in the real world, okay, outside digital as well. So when you start building your personal brand, you have to think about a strategy, right? And we were talking before that you needed to control it. I would like you now, if you want to stop for a minute, and go ahead and Google yourself. Your full name, your last name, maybe if you only have one last name, because in Spain we have two, and it's a little bit easier, right? Look a little bit more to put, I don't know, like maybe your career, your university, your business, whatever. What do you get when you Google yourself? And you can see everything. You can go to the images. Right now you see the images that I get when I Google myself, and you can have videos and so on. But are you in there? Are you in Google when you Google yourself? Maybe you get some information that you didn't even know that existed, because sometimes people just get you. Maybe you wrote an article and you are in Google and there's a picture of you. Or maybe if you do a lot of social media, you can get pictures of your social media, right? But what social media do you do? You do only LinkedIn, you do Instagram, you do TikTok. It's very important, because if you have been building yourself and you have been using social media for personal interaction, maybe now you start going into business and you don't want that to be on the internet, right? You don't want to Google yourself because and see things that you cannot control, right? So you really need to control your personal brand, because it's a way for people to understand you, to remember you. But remember that also it's a way of people knowing who you are in advance. They're gonna look at you, they're gonna look in your social media, and they're gonna see, what is this person doing? I'm gonna have an interview with a person. Let's Google them and let's get in the social media to see what are they into, right? And they're gonna have an idea about yourself in advance before they start even talking to you, because they even see you, right? So if you want to build the credibility and you want to make easy for people to identify your skills, your expertise, that will really help build your credibility and trust, right? And what's going to happen when you control when you control at least a little bit of your personal brand? Well, you're going to start to control opportunities as well, because when you're clear about what you offer and what you stand for, what are your values, you can attract more opportunities that align to the things that you want to do, right? And this is very, very important. So I don't know if you see me when you see me talking, or you just see the you only see the information. Okay.
I think they see all of us, like,
yeah,
to you and the
okay, fantastic.
If not, they can write us in the chat.
Okay, fantastic. So so going with what's important is that you need to control your personal brand, and you can do different strategies depending on what you want to do, your objectives, your areas of development. If you're looking for a job, if you have a job but you want to go to a different country, maybe, or I don't know, many other. If you are an entrepreneur, you're starting a business, and you want to make yourself known, it doesn't matter what you do, personal brand is always going to help you. But you have to have different strategies, okay, based on what you want to do, right? And I was telling you that I really like to quote movies. So I really like this one. Is August Walker in Mission Impossible Fallout, when he said, hope is not a strategy. And many times we think it is, because many times we just go out there, we present ourselves, right? And we think that, well, they're gonna know who I am. They're gonna get all the information that I give them. They're gonna read my curriculum, or they're gonna see my website, or they're gonna look at my blog, right? But hope is not a strategy. You need to have a strategy to build your personal brand, okay? So, so let's go ahead and let's get hands-on, and let's see 8 different points that will help you build a strong personal brand. This obviously can go on and on, and we can work on it very much and change it, right? So the first, the 8 steps are: first, get to know yourself, identify your strengths. This is very important, and we're going to be working on that in a little time. Define your target audience and your focus. Third, we need to craft your narrative and tell your story. You need to find your voice. What style, what ideas are you gonna say, and how are you gonna say them? You have to build community, and you have to connect with people, because I was saying before, the most important thing is that you connect with people, right? You have to learn how to leverage social media and be consistent on your work in social media. It doesn't matter if you don't do it every single day, or if one week you don't post anything because you've gone on a trip or something like that. But you really have to be consistent when you are working with social media, right? You have to create content, and this is very important because you have to create value for others. We're gonna see this many times, okay? And also personal branding is gonna help you grow as a person and as a professional, okay? So I want to talk a little bit more about each one of these. Know yourself and identify your strengths. Many times when we start talking, we start creating a post, we start going to events or this and that. We connect with people, but we don't give them the unique strength, the value proposition, what we really do. What are we good at? And what do they want? What do we want them to know about ourselves, right? So it's important to have time to very nicely think about yourself, write it down. We're gonna do an activity about this in some minutes, okay? And think about what you want to say about yourself. What are your strengths? It's very important to define your audience and focus on them. Who do you want to get to? Do you want to get to people in the business that you want to get in, and you're going to start sending curriculum? Or do you want to build a brand that's accordingly to your business brand? You have to define your audience, make your list, and focus on that audience. The rest of the audience, it doesn't matter that much. It does matter, but it's like for another stage, right? Something very important is to craft your narrative. We're going to see it now, and tell your story, and be sure that you find your voice so you can have like an authentic story, okay? And everything that you're going to say about yourself, every post, every blog, every picture, is going to say something about yourself. So you really need to see what are you going to say, right? Building community to connect people is not only I send posts, I say things, you want to listen, you want to know about me. I need to comment on others, I need to build community, and I really need to start working with other persons, right? And when I start connecting and I start telling people, well, do you want to get, you want to get together, you want to get like a coffee or a meeting or whatnot, social media and my content is going to make a lot of effect on that. Because if they go look around your profile, you have nothing, maybe they're going to say, well, no, I'm not interested in you because I don't know who you are. But if you're giving them a lot of information about yourself, they'll feel that you are interesting, right? So what have I learned about personal branding in all my work and through all the years? Mostly is that ideas are the most resilient and important things on earth for humans. It's so important, and I have a quote there for you, for Kube in the movie Inception, that he talks about what's the most resilient parasite: bacteria, a virus, an intestinal worm. An idea is the most resilient because it's highly contagious, and once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate. So That's why you need to put in other people, you have to put your ideas, right? It's very important to maintain authenticity in your personal branding, to stay true to yourself. Don't lie in the things you're saying. Don't try to be too cool in the things you do. I mean, show them what you're doing, but don't try to lie. You have to be yourself. And it doesn't matter if you're starting from scratch, if you don't have anything, because everybody has been starting from scratch. So you start and you start growing on your digital presence, and you start to grow on that, okay? Share your ideas is so important. So you have a through leadership, you have to create value for others. And the way to do that is that thought leadership refers really to the position of a person, an individual, that can be on our organization or can be like a founder, doesn't matter, and that has a specific relevance in a field. So you really want to share your ideas, your insight, your opinions, talk about everything. And that's the way you have to create value and contents that interesting for other people, okay? You have to create strong visual elements, stand out. And a very good idea is to use audiovisual, image, podcast. You can go and try and talk try to go, I don't know, it doesn't matter what event. You have to go to event, try for them to ask you to talk, to share your ideas. It's very important because not everything is digital, okay? As I said before, it's very important that personal branding helps you grow as a person and as a professional. And if you start using personal branding as a tool, you're going to start meeting many, many important people and many, many amazing people that are going to help you through your journey. Okay. So really it is, you have to travel this social media, and you have to travel through connecting with people. And I think it's important that you can put yourself out there, but also be careful about not putting too much of yourself out there, because you have to balance between your personal and professional branding. Maybe you have been using social media for personal purposes, and now if you start to use it as a business tool, you need to be very careful with the information that you put in the world. Also, you have to be, because you're putting yourself out there, well, you have to be ready for haters too, and ready for people that are not going to like your ideas, that are not going to like you. And you have to remember that not everybody might like you. Not everybody might be, might say, oh yeah, fantastic job, I really like what you're saying, I connect with you, because some people won't. And depending on the social media you find, some people are very mean in the internet. So you need to have a plan on that, about how are you going to handle challenges, and how are you going to challenge the feedback that you give, right? So depending of the area that you're getting is very important, because you have to be ready to people that are not going to be always, being nice to you and telling you that you are fantastic. Okay, so this is a little bit of hints, píldoras that I've been giving you, so you can create like your first moment. And I would like you to go to the second part, in which you really need to work a little bit. And I'm gonna work on some tools that it's just like the first idea, the first vision, but I really encourage you, so you can get them home and work a little bit on them to look further into this, right? So to create your personal branding strategy, the first thing that you need to have in mind is that you really need to think about yourself. You might think this is a very stupid thing to do, but it really works. And probably you have not been thinking about yourself too much lately. So this is a perfect moment for you to do it. And here goes another quote. And this one is from The Princess and the Frog. I hope you remember the movie. It's really cool. And Mama Oji says, dig deep down inside yourself. You'll find out what you need. And she says, blue skies and sunshine guaranteed. Because really, when you know yourself, is not only like a project that's going to help you for your personal brand, it's going to help you as a person, it's going to help you as a professional, and it's surely going to help everybody that you find in your way. So the first activity is very easy. You have to write down in the paper or in your computer, whatever, write down, like, it's just a brief. We're going to work on that later at home, right? Give a few minutes to think about your long-term career goals, the values that are most important to you. What's your vision? What are your dreams? What do you want to accomplish? What are your objectives in general, right? Write down your thoughts. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. Really think about what you really want to do, because probably you're right now in a moment in which you're starting something, right? If you are in university and you're starting to go to business, you're starting your career, what do you really want to be right now? So think about it. I'll give you a little bit of time so you can write down a little bit your thoughts. And I think this is the first step to clarify your direction and your first idea of purpose. What do you want to do?
Yes, if someone has some questions,
Yeah.
we had a problem with the chat that was not enabled. And then now I could open the chat. So if you have questions of how to do the second part, you can write it or let us know, raising your hand. So if it's clear, we start
I can see the chat
answering.
here. Okay, thank you. Fantastic. So it's very interesting when you are defining your vision, your objectives and your values, that maybe you want to share it with someone else. You want to share it with a friend or with a colleague or with your family, right? This is also very interesting. I want to go to the second activity. This is a little bit of work about discovering your ikigai. I'm sure you all have heard of this concept. If you see here, Iki is like a broad idea, right? It's like the intersection between, it's a Japanese term, and wait, here. It's a Japanese term, and it's the meaning is a reason for being. What is your reason for being? What is your purpose? What is your idea to be here in the world, right? So this is a very interesting framework and very easy to do, because you just have to draw the circle, so you can get this information while we finish the work today. And you have to find your purpose by intersecting these circles, what you love and what you're good at, that's the passion, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for, that's the vocation, because you can work on that, and what you can be paid for and what you're good at, that's a profession. But if when all of them come together, that is the ikigai. When you really find something and you're working on something that you really enjoy, that you love, that you're good at it, you can work on it and be good at it and learn something that you can be paid for, which is important, because if not, you're gonna have a vocation. If you're gonna have a mission, you're gonna have something that you love, but if you don't get paid for it, you get energy very soon, right? So this is very interesting to think about, write about all the ideas that you have in your ikigai sheet. And in this worksheet, you can write whatever you want, because this will help you really to find your purpose, your ikigai, and this is crucial to fulfill your personal, your professional life. And this is going to give you a lot of ideas on where to start in your personal brand, where to start when you want to start showing up out there, okay? If you want to get this idea, work a little bit of this. What do you love? What you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for, and juggle a little bit with that to see what you get, okay? These are, it's an activity that you really need to, I'll say that if you give it like a week thought in all the activities that I'm proposing right here, that will give you a very nice kickstart in your personal brand, okay? The next one will be do SWOT, an analysis for personal branding. I'm sure you all have done many SWOT for business, for products, but now it will be very interesting to do one of these analyses for yourself, for your personal branding, for your professional branding. So you're gonna do the graphic, and in one part you're gonna put your strength. This could be your skills, your knowledge, your passion, your advantages that you may have, the connections that you have, or maybe the good habits that you have, because you know I like to wake up early, do my workout, I'm ready to go, whatever. What are your strengths? Just put them down. It can be personal and also professional, and that's going to help you a lot to find ideas on who are you and who do you want to tell other people that you are, okay? What about the opportunities that you think that you have now? This SWOT analysis is going to grow, obviously, because the one that you do today is not going to be the same that you do in a year, right? But this will be very important for you, because if you do this every year or every 6 months, it's very interesting because you have, and you can compare it to the one that you did before, right? It's very important that you write down your weaknesses, the skills that you need to improve, the areas where you lack knowledge that you would like to develop. Maybe there's some disadvantages that you have, right? Bad habits, or well, you may have many weaknesses that you really want to put there, okay? And also the threats, because maybe you have, I don't know, threats that you are feeling because you have to make a decision based, they might be based on your weaknesses, and they can be at your work or your studies or global scale. You know, right now we have many problems in the world, so maybe there are threats regarding international activities, right? So this is a very interesting analysis, and when you have done this analysis, yeah, there were questions about the before. Yeah, it will be very interesting if, going back to the activity 2, the Ikigai, you have really to write it down. Maybe you want to go ahead in the internet and Google how to find my Ikigai, so you can get some ideas. But really, you will have to write the different parts and see if they can combine, and where are you right now in the Ikigai, because maybe you find yourself, you're not in the area that you want to be, okay? So this is a very specific technique. If you want to go ahead and Google it, you can get a lot of ideas and techniques to find the answers to find your Ikigai, okay? I want to give you this 4 activities that I think they're very important, but you can, if you want to do them thoroughly, we don't have time to do them all today, but it will be very interesting to really get into it, okay? So going back to the SWOT analysis, I found it very important. The Ikigai is not as much, but it is interesting for the SWOT analysis to give it to someone else, because sometimes what you see about yourself is not what others see about yourself. So it's very interesting to talk to other people and see, well, I've written this down. What do you think about it? Because sometimes we don't give us enough credit and we think a weakness is a weakness and it's really a strength, for instance, right? But it would be interesting to share it with at least 4 people. It would be interesting to share, I don't know, a family member, a loved one, a friend, a career advisor, because they will give you insight that for sure it's gonna help you a lot, okay? I wanna show you another one that I think is really, really interesting. You really would like to go into this, and it's a hero's journey. This is the 4th activity, okay? Because this is a tool that is used more in storytelling and literature, but right now it's very interesting to have it used in personal branding, okay? I'm sure you have learned about a little bit of the hero's journey. It's a narrative framework that was popularized by Joseph Campbell, and it's also called the monomyth, okay? And this follows a protagonist or a hero who embarks on an adventure, faces and overcomes challenges, and returns transformed somehow, right? And we have seen this idea of the hero's journey in many movies, in many literature, even children's literature, and how it's used. And it's very interesting to use this tool. Please, you try to use it and try to use it with a very open mind, okay? Because you can frame your personal and professional experiences as part of the hero journey. You are the hero in your personal brand. So you really need to think about what is your personal story here, right? I'm sure you can share your challenges, your growth, your achievements. And this is a very interesting tool to connect emotionally with your audience, with the people that's going to read, that's going to see what you do. And you're going to demonstrate resilience and authenticity. But it's really important that it's authentic. I mean, don't go on and build like a whole storytelling or something that's not real, right? Here, you can see there are many, there's a lot of information about the hero's journey in the internet, and there are many ways, but basically, you have like, here you have like the call for adventure. There are many parts of the story, okay? I'm gonna give you this, so you can use, typically there are 12 stages in the hero's journey. That starts in the ordinary world. There's a part in the ordinary world, and there's a part that takes place in the fantasy world. You have the call of adventure. You don't want to listen for the call. You can meet a mentor. There are many external or internal events that cause the hero or the heroine in this case to overcome a challenge, reach a threshold, and then return to a normal life with something that they have learned, something important, okay? So when creating a personal brand, this narrative is very interesting because it can help you. It's not like you're gonna tell a story and everybody's gonna read the whole story, but you're gonna be sending little snippets of your story. And you have to think about how these snippets will go into your hero's journey, right? Maybe, you know, and you see this, it's been used very much. Sometimes it's been used in a non-nice way because you don't want to sound commercial. But when you see like a person that they tell you that, well, I don't know, I was oversized and I was feeling very bad and I have a lot of problems because I was, you know, I don't know, eating very bad, and I couldn't do any workout, for instance, and this and that. And then they show you like how they got to an idea and how they over, you know, pass all those problems, and then they came with like the elixir, right? So it's very interesting if you do it for yourself, because it really can be used to understand the challenges that you face in real life. And right now it's very interesting because people really want to know other people. And right now we use digital and we use social media to connect with people so much that it's not only about I've been there, I've done this, it's a picture of me with my partner, we went to this event, and that's it. You have to really connect with people. And using this tool, it's really gonna help you, because the hero's journey is an very open idea that will help you. Maybe you became a challenge and you don't want to talk about it, but maybe that's important for other people because they can see who you are really, and they can connect in a very deep level with you. Okay.
Yes, and Gracia, just
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Tatiana is asking a question about a brief example of the narrative. I think it was about the previous slide, the beginning of the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Because now you provided an example.
Yes.
But in the bad sense, no, the misuse of the journey.
Yes.
Give
For
us
instance,
another type of example.
This can be depends really on your story, right? But imagine that you have the call of adventure could be, for instance, did you had to move with your family to a different country, right? You didn't want to go, you didn't want to leave your other family, you had to leave, imagine your parents, and you had to go to another country, and you went. The abyss is when you have like the revelation, because you have like the moment when you are really in a bad moment, right? You have all the challenges, you get all the temptations, for instance, and the temptations might be that people asking you to go back. When you going back is going to be really bad for your career, for instance, and you find a mentor or you find a helper, and the helper might be whomever, might be a friend, might be a teacher, or might be a colleague that can really help you in this process. And then you have the revelation, and you decided to help other people that have the same problem, and you build a company that is helping people that come from other countries to create their business in the United States, for instance, right? This is very, very short example. Well, you can tell all those snippets. You can tell about what you did. How did you feel in those moments? How you were almost tempted to leave everything behind and go back, for instance, even though you knew it was not a good idea, right, Tatiana? So it doesn't have to be something supernatural, although many people do it, because depending on what's your idea, who are you really, and what are you doing, so. And also, it doesn't have to be like super dramatic, you see, but it's interesting to try to keep it here, because you're going to be this is a storytelling that is authentic, and it really is telling things about yourself. And people who's struggling with the same problems, they'll probably be having the feeling that they can connect with you, because you understand, and maybe they will listen to you a little bit more when you give them the elixir, right? And they are interested in what you have to say. So when you're talking in, I don't know, social media, or you're talking, you go to an event or whatever, if you really know what you have been doing, what have been your challenges, it's important, because really you just tell your story, and then you're going to see that the people that connect with you are the people that are most close to you in many, many ways. And sometimes you're even helping people that you didn't even know that you could help. Okay. So these four, as you can see, there are four very different, I'm going back, very different activities defining your vision, values, and objectives, discovering your ikigai, making your SWOT analysis for personal branding and sharing it with others, and thinking and learning a little bit more about the hero's journey, this mythic structure, and how can you really put it together, and how can you see yourself in giving others value, okay? I would really like you to work on all this. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and send me all the questions that you may need, because I assure you that you're gonna learn a lot about yourself, and you're gonna have a very interesting idea of what to do and what do you want to say, okay? What do you want to put out there, right? Sorry that I want to tell you many things, but I want to go to the next area, and this is like social media and tools for personal branding. I'm just giving you a little bit of ideas that you can do. You're gonna need to select the social media that you want to work on. It could be LinkedIn, very important if you are building a business career, if you're building a business, a professional, and that thought leadership that we were talking about before. LinkedIn, YouTube, blogging, very important. It doesn't matter how you do it, but you really need to start working on LinkedIn, YouTube, and blogging. As I said, blogging can be either podcast or writing or a mix and match, because also you need to think that people, some people are very visual, as myself right now. You know, watching me, you're watching my my information that I was building for you. Some people are they really like I think Luciana is, because she's very musical and she knows a lot about music. So she likes a lot information that comes from the ears, like the auditiva information, right? Some other people like the sense, they're more sensitive, they like the feelings, they like touching people, right? So you have to create different type of contents, because you want to get all the people to understand your contents. Don't only go on one type of contents. And then if you want to use TikTok, X, or Instagram, depending on the way, you have to select, and many others that you can go. I'm gonna go a little bit further in LinkedIn. It's very important first to create a powerful profile and keep it growing. For instance, you can see it's in Spanish, in destacado, there's a place where you can put like important information about yourself. Right now, I'm sure that you can make many important and relevant changes in your LinkedIn profile. So before you start asking people and follow people and asking people to connect with you, it will be very important to create a powerful profile, change your pictures, change the information that you're sharing, the CV or your experience. And it will be very important to share, as we were talking before, to share your ideas. Very important to share your ideas. And a very nice way of sharing your ideas is using the articles or the blogging tool for LinkedIn. So if you want to start making relevant connections, it will be very nice to start, taking care of your profile. You can grow it in the future, but taking a good care first about your profile and how it looks. And as we said with the SWOT analysis, it will be very interesting that you show it to others and say, well, what do you think about my profile? Because sometimes we tend to be too nice about ourselves, right? And we think we're doing fantastic, and there's a window of, we have opportunities to do it in a different ways. And sometimes the other, we have doing fantastic, and we don't want to say about, why don't you put what you did, you didn't work for United Nations, why don't you put it? No, because, I don't want to do it, I don't think it's interesting. Maybe someone has to tell you this, okay? So important.
Gracia, I have
Sí.
a quick questions, because some
Sí.
people, when they see profiles, I have heard this conversation, people saying, oh, I think you're an influencer. When you post a lot and when you put meaningful things, people confuse you with an influencer. but you can be much more than this, right?
Well, depends on what you think an influencer is, because right now you have to think that everybody can be an influencer, because if you're influencing at least one person, you are an influencer for me, right? If you are connecting with
Yes.
someone and that person is learning something because of you, or you're connecting, or you're chatting, you are, you're having thoughts about an idea together, that's very important. That's why I want to go back to the first idea I was telling you about, connections, because the important thing right now is not technology. It's not what if you're an influencer, if you do this super cool picture of not. It's about making connections. And if you want to make relevant connections, you have to share who you are and share your ideas.
Yes, and producing contents that are meaningful, right? Because
yeah,
influencer by itself without anything to say, it doesn't matter. But if you have something to say, it's the difference, right?
see, well, I studied in the United States. I studied in the in Maine, and I did my senior year in Maine, and it's I find it interesting that in my yearbook I said, talk because you have something to say, not because you have to say something, right? You have to be meaningful with the things that you say. It's not about talk all the time, sending this picture, sending this. You have to really try to give value, because if you don't give value, you're only going to attract people that don't like value, that are not interested in your real self, right? So that's why it's very important to get the social media platform that it really goes with you. If you, myself, I only work on LinkedIn because it's the one that I feel more connected to. I have other profiles, but mostly I do LinkedIn, because I get connections with many people that are interested to me. And give away value is one of the most important things, because what you want to do is also connect outside the internet. So you need to publish various content. You have to be thoughtful about what you publish, and that has to be connected to what you do and what you want to do. You have in LinkedIn, for instance, you have the content creators tools. You can make a newsletter, you can write articles, you can create a group about something that might be interesting and connect with people with your same interest. And you can dynamize that group and make a lot of people come together for an idea. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to be, famous to do this. Everybody has something to say, and it's interesting for many people. That's the beauty of the internet, that it connects us in the more interesting places, right? You have audio events, you have direct video. As I said before, I said it very quick, but audio and video is very important, so people can see you and they can feel you. If you only write, it's going to be a connection that's going to be a little bit too loose, so I think it's very interesting to give it a thought. And as I said before, hope is not a strategy. That's why you need a strategy and you need ideas, right? And that's why it comes artificial intelligence for personal branding is very interesting, because then if you feel like, well, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to write about, or I don't know how to make better my profile, well, you can use artificial intelligence for personal branding. And there are many powerful ways. I just put 8 powerful ways to elevate your personal brand using IA. And there are many more, but it will be very interesting if you can get the problem now is there's so many tools, right? That is the problem, and so much information. But if you want to start working on your personal brand, start working on your profiles and so on, so it will be very interesting to use the AI. Either crafting compelling bios that will help you shape your digital identity, Find your 5 main topics. I also use 5 main topics or territories that you want to talk about, because maybe, for instance, I talk about technology, but I talk about digital humanism. I talk about women in technology, about women rights, but sometimes I talk about birds, or sometimes I talk about the importance of global connections. You see, you can have find your main topics and see how are you gonna organize everything in your strategy, right? You can brainstorm ideas and post topics, because maybe you don't know what to do, where to start. You can brainstorm with the IA, so you can collaborate with it for the content creation, right? You can also automate some of the social media postings that you do, so you have a consistent presence. That's very important, because sometimes you want to do something manual and something you want it to be automatized, so you can write all your posts in the weekends and then have them an artificial intelligence throw them out in the internet in specific moments. You know, I mean, there's many things that you can do. You can personalize the email outreach. Okay, so you can connect with people more like just connecting, throwing information and that's it. Okay, you can use it for blogging as well and get information. So it's really interesting to get into IA. But we were talking about movies. This movie I saw the other, I think it was last Tuesday. It's The Boys in the Boat. It's really nice. This movie, it's been, I think it's George Clooney directed this movie. It's about a team in 1936 from the University of Washington. It was a rowing team, and they competed they're like the underdogs, and they competed for gold at the Summer Olympics in Berlin, 1936, just before World War II. It's a very nice movie. I really liked it, and it was I was very interested of this, The Boys in the Boat. Yes, from last year. When you see rowers in a coxswain 8, the most important person is precisely this guy that I'm pointing here, right? It's very important. In Espanol, we say el timonel or el patrón sometimes. In English, I think it's the coxswain or the cox, right? Is the one who coordinates the power, the rhythm of the rowers, is the one who gives the strategy, and is the one who's really responsible for the steering of the boat, the steering of the shell. I found it particularly interesting because when you are using the EI, don't think that the EI is gonna make everything for you, because it's not. You have to be this guy. You have to be the coxswain, the cox, right? And then you can have all the tools that you want, right? But the most important thing is that you know where you're going, so you can steer the boat in the right direction. Okay, so this is a good analogy. I'm gonna send you this, if you want, I'm gonna send you this presentation, if it's okay, so you can check. But for instance, this is a prompt that you can put it in many, ChatGPT, Gemini, it doesn't matter. You can start by creating your personal brand statement, and you can write this prompt that's craft a clear and compelling personal brand statement that I can display on my LinkedIn profile to effectively communicate my unique strengths, values, and professional identities. And then you have to feed the whatever artificial intelligence. You know that as much as you give the IA information, that's how it's going to tell. That's an example of how can you start using IA. And I put here like ChatGPT, Gemini, you can use for content creation, for brainstorming, for ideas, for posts, and for topics. I use Grammarly, is a very interesting one because it's an AI-driven writing assistant. It's very good if you are writing like blogs, or if you're working your idea. Canva, fantastic. This presentation, I made it with Canva, and has a lot of interesting tools. Some of them are enhanced with AI. So it's a graphic design tools made for dummies. And it has like, you can do many things, and you can do many things with artificial intelligence, and you can work with Canva to create your personal brand and all the things that you're going to put out there, the content. Okay. You can go to transfer your ideas into images with DALL-E or many others. I put several here. You can do, for instance, social media monitoring and analytics with Brand24. Okay. Or you can do Soho Social, for instance. This is a very interesting tool to publish in different social media. So you can have, as we were saying before, you can do all your publications, and you can do this this calendar of publications. Or Batzoom, that you can discover content and make an analysis of the trends with artificial intelligence in your specific field. And you can also connect with journalists, and I mean, you can do many things with this. It's a very interesting tool. Or this one, I thought it was very cool. You give them like 4, maybe 6 different shots of yourself, selfies and so on, and they make a hyper realistic portrait that looks like, and you look like you paid a lot of money to a photographer to go on social media. This one is really cool. This, right? They're not changing?
They are not changing. We are in the second slide of the hero's journey.
Wow.
Maybe we can close and open again, maybe, Gracia. Because we are stuck, and we don't know how to spell all the platforms you mentioned. I was looking for.
I'm sorry, let's see.
I ended in Brand24, and then I got lost.
Let's see.
Okay, yes. We need to go back to the second slide of the hero's journey.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
So we were here.
Okay. We were
Right?
there, and then we lost track. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
So you went, is it moving now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I was talking about the tools, very fast. I was talking about the tools that you're gonna have to select to get started with your professional brand, okay? And I was talking about how in LinkedIn, especially important to build your audience with relevant connections and give away value, and how can you use the content creator tools that LinkedIn gives, like newsletter, articles, create a group, audio events, direct video, right? How can you share videos from other platforms, for instance, YouTube, right? And this is, as we were talking about, giving special treatment to LinkedIn, but really you need to share the different, I put here LinkedIn, YouTube, blogging, with their many platforms, and also TikTok, X, or Instagram, but really you need to select the ones that you want, okay? And going for artificial intelligence for personal branding, we were talking about how these were the 8 different powerful ways that you could elevate your personal brand, how you can do different things like working on your text, your videos, find your topics or main territories so you can talk to, okay? How can you optimize your LinkedIn profiles, okay? How you can create your narrative and find your voice with the help of the artificial intelligence, okay? These were like 8 ideas that you can use artificial intelligence, right? And really, when you start, if you start looking for ideas, right now it's amazing the amount of people that's working on that, and they can give you prompts and they can give you tools, right? And we were talking about in the boys in the boat, how the most important person in the boat is the coxswain, right? And I was saying that you have to be this guy that's in a cockfight, that you have to be like the cox, right? Because in Espanol we say the timonel, the patron. With the AI, you can have many guys rowing for you. That's what the artificial intelligence is going to do for you. But you really need to work as the brains, right? And this was an idea of a first prompt that you can start with. You can start looking in the internet for prompts for personal brand. This is one for personal brand statement. You know that with any artificial intelligence, the most important thing is that you give a lot of background, a lot of information about what you want to get, and you can work with one specific artificial intelligence. It could be ChatGPT or Gemini. So this tool will know who you are, will know who you want to be, your ideas, your territories, and you can work a lot and be consistent with the tool that you're using, right? And I was saying that you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, for content generation, for ideas, for post topics. It's amazing because maybe you have an idea for one post and you can give it to ChatGPT and say, please tell me how many more ideas can I get from this one? And you get 10 different ideas. Or you can put and tell him to tell ChatGPT to get you a calendar for the whole year of different ideas to work on your brand, so you don't keep doing the same thing over and over, and it will be different. Once you're gonna post I don't know, picture of you doing something outside the business, or post an article, or post, it's gonna give you a lot of ideas, and it's gonna give you a start, so you don't have like the white sheet to start talking and to start writing in over white, right? I was saying that I was giving you many others, such as Grammarly, which is a writing assistant that's very nice, especially if you write in English. And this is a very good tool that will provide feedback on your if it's grammatically correct and many other things. And I was talking about Canva, that I was saying that it was fantastic when it stopped showing my, right? When it stopped showing my presentation. But there are many tools in Canva that are enhanced by artificial intelligence. And you can, for instance, create your content for the whole semester, for instance. And you can create it in Canva, give it a thought, so you don't have to be working on your personal brand every day. Right? So what's going to give you all these tools is going to give you information, is going to give you ideas, and also images, you know. And I was saying, for instance, others as Brand24, social media monitoring and analytics, or Soho Social, that you can post content in an automatized way, right? And I was here talking about Insta Headshot, that I thought it was very interesting, because you can feed the artificial intelligence with several pictures of you that are not so good, and they will make it will make a portrait that looks like, you know, it was a very cool portrait for your brand. Okay.
Gracia, and sorry, and do they have all free versions, like a trial?
Yeah, most of them have free versions, so you can play with them. But as there's so many tools in artificial intelligence, I think what it will be interesting is that you start looking, what can artificial intelligence do for my personal brand, and you choose 3 to start, 3 tools. And then you can see if you can go on with the free version, because most of them, they're freemium, or if you need to, you know, to go with a better version if you really want to get into that. But what I want to give you is the message that artificial intelligence is here to help you be more truthful with everything you say, and also to give the message that you want to send many more messages, many more ideas, many more ways to create your personal brand, okay? So I think it's very important that you start using this tool. And the problem is there's so many right there. So, so I will like finish, but I would like to open if you want to have any questions. Okay.
Yes, I can say, I think that if some of you want to speak, I can enable you to speak
Yeah.
to make your questions loud. I know that Adolfo and Tatiana had questions, but I will open for all of you the possibility. So I will allow you all to talk. I open for all.
Hola.
So Yamilet for sure has questions too. So let's go.
Hola,
Adolfo.
buenas tardes. Ajá, un placer estar aquí. Muchas gracias por esta presentación. Gracias y Luciana por pasar la invitación. Yo quería, bueno, tengo muchísimas preguntas, pero digamos, concretamente, ¿tú crees que hay alguna bibliografía, algún personaje aparte de ti, o hay alguna bibliografía que nosotros deberíamos consultar de manera de poder profundizar en todo lo que nos diste hoy? Porque yo siento que abriste un montón de portales en una serie de universos. Y entonces, claro, por ejemplo, hay una parte de lo que es el diseño del objetivo, la visión de la marca, que es una cosa, y luego, por ejemplo, la relación con el viaje del héroe. I'm doing this in Spanish. Would you like me to do it in English? I don't know, Luciana. What?
It's okay.
¿En español está bien?
Sí.
Sí, puedes seguir en
Sí,
español.
está bien, sí. Ok. Y por ejemplo, el viaje del héroe también es un universo en sí mismo, y luego
Sí.
el autoconocimiento y el análisis de los 4 cuadrantes también es otra cosa, y luego la integración de eso con la inteligencia artificial. Entonces, yo creo que bueno, yo quería preguntarte primero eso, y luego, bueno, que si tu trabajo como consultor está disponible al público en general, y uno te puede contratar, pues.
Sí, claro, por supuesto. Si voy a contestar en español, si os parece bien. Bueno, como me estaba comentando, yo lo que voy a hacer es, yo os voy a compartir para que podáis revisar un poco toda la información que os he dado, y voy a compartir una lista de, si os parece bien, al final de la presentación, una lista de lugares donde podéis ir a ver más información sobre cada una de estas tools, de estas herramientas que os he dado, para profundizar un poco más, para trabajar en cada una de ellas, ¿vale? Porque es cierto que cada una de estas ideas son un mundo en sí mismo, y podríamos tener, bueno, solamente usando inteligencia artificial podríamos tener varios seminarios al respecto, ¿no? Entonces, si os parece bien, yo os voy a pasar al final de la presentación como una bibliografía de algunos puntos donde podéis ver más información, y estoy abierta a cualquier, bueno, pues obviamente cualquier consulta que os pueda resolver, y también si necesitáis ayuda a título ya profesional con la marca personal, por supuesto que a vuestra disposición para trabajar en ello. Pero realmente yo lo que quería en esta es como un primer momento para concienciar sobre la importancia que tiene el que todos podemos tener una marca personal, que todos podemos tener esa voz y podemos ser muy valiosos para mostrarnos a los demás, y que hay muchísimas herramientas que podemos seleccionar y que podemos elegir para poder hacer una marca personal potente y que ayude a los demás al mismo tiempo que nos ayuda a nosotros, ¿no?
Buenísimo, muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
Encantada, Adolfo,
Sí.
claro.
He puesto tu email en el chat por si alguno quiere hacerte alguna consulta o comunicarse contigo ya más específicamente. Alguien te preguntó, Margarita, which AI branding tools do you recommend? Of all the ones you mentioned, I imagine that what's your favorite? la más recomendada?
Well, the ones I use more are Canva, ChatGPT, Gemini, and also two more that are like for and other stuff that's not related to personal brand. But these three are the most for me are fantastic. For instance, to create ideas, I use a lot. Well, sometimes I use DALI also to create like, but it's very hard to focus on DALI, you know, because you get many crazy activities from the international intelligence. So there are many tools right now, but I think it's important not to choose too many tools, but to see how whatever you want to do, you can do it with one specific tool, okay? Did I use any AI in creating this presentation? Yes, I did. I use Canva, but not IA there. I use Canva and I use ChatGPT in looking for different ideas and different thoughts. Yes, we made like the outline, the first outline. I made it with Canva, and also I connected with Canva to create some specific content of the presentation. Yes, and I made many. I do a lot of different content. And for instance, we're doing in Infinity in my other company. We're creating several content for kids, and we created a content that's for women in tech and women in STEM, for instance. And we created, it was like, it's 45 profiles of women in tech, like we're passing history and from now. And the DALI created all the pictures, and it was amazing. It was really hard, but you could do a lot of things to.
Gracia, can you share with us this website where you have the profiles of these women, so we can have an example of a professional appearance and all this, and the image of the people you included? Yeah. It's infinity.com?
I'll show you one. A momento. I can give you let's give me a sec to see if I can share my presentation again.
Or maybe the website.
Or maybe, yeah, I can give you the, no, I wanted to show you the, what, wait. I'm sorry, I don't see the, wait a second. I'll show you the, maybe you can see that now?
Yes, we see the website for kids, right?
This is the website for kids. And here we do two see all the I don't know if you see, here is Marie Curie. And all this information is that she says, las imágenes las he creado con ayuda de la inteligencia artificial DALI. And you can see that we have this version.
Wow.
It's very cool. And we also wanted to create, see, you have like the different Vera Rubin. All this information has been created with the help of artificial intelligence, because this idea was to create a special with contents for robotics and artificial intelligence. And here we have the same idea, but for older children.
Yes, for teenagers and so.
For teenagers, and you see here that we have the same ones, but it's a different.
Yes,
See,
it's more real, more close
more
to
realistic, but it was a little bit hard because, for instance, Hedy Lamar, or to have the same style, it was hard. And then when we started to go into the youngest one, for instance, Margarita Salas or Carol Show or Resma Saujani, this didn't have a lot of information, so you had to feed the artificial intelligence with it. But it's very cool because in the past you would have to be, creating all this information from scratch with, someone who would. So really using AI is giving you an amazing opportunity right now, right?
Yes, Margarita, I think Margarita has a question.
Sí, disculpen, yo no tengo un problema con el vídeo, con la cámara. Usted, excelente presentación, gracias, tuve un problema, pero eso no lo pude asistir completo. Usted habla de una inteligencia artificial DALI, como el pintor, Dalí.
Sí, correcto.
Ah,
Se llama DALL-E. It's like, es como un juego de palabras que han hecho. Y ahora mismo está dentro de ChatGPT. Hay una fórmula, se puede usar gratis para hacer como algunas actividades, algunas tareas. Y dentro de ChatGPT se puede usar la inteligencia artificial de DALL-E de pago, que tiene un pago de como 20 euros, $20 al mes, que es bastante asequible. And you can puedes crear un montón de cosas, es increíble. Lo que pasa que sí que es cierto que la inteligencia artificial que está relacionada con la creación de imágenes es mucho más loca, en el sentido que puede tener mucho lo que llaman momentos en los que la inteligencia artificial genera cosas y la inteligencia artificial no se va a callar nunca. Es decir, siempre que le pidamos una cosa, nos va a generar un contenido. Ese contenido puede no ser relevante, de forma que hay veces que a lo mejor te puede sacar pues, un gato con 4 patas, con 5 patas o con 6 patas, o cosas un poco locas, ¿no? Entonces, dentro de OpenAI podéis utilizar DALL-E, hay diferentes versiones de DALL-E, y siempre se puede jugar con todas estas versiones de inteligencia artificial de manera gratuita primero, para ver cómo se pueden integrar en el día a día. Pero es impresionante lo que se puede hacer. Porque, como estaba contando, lo más importante es que nosotros somos los timoneles, los que tenemos que controlar esa generación de contenido, esa generación de valor, y qué es lo que queremos conseguir. Entonces, no cogemos lo que nos da la inteligencia artificial tal cual y lo utilizamos, la usamos como una herramienta. Es como si tuviéramos un grupo de personas que están trabajando con nosotros en la mesa y nos estás dando información, y nosotros somos los curadores de ese contenido, los creadores y los que editamos ese contenido para poder ponerlo a disposición de los demás. Pero las herramientas ahora mismo de inteligencia artificial, bueno, nos daría para mucho tiempo, Luciana, de hablar de...
Yo creo que la gente se ha quedado con ganas. Everyone wanted more. So maybe...
Gracias, le agradezco, Gracia. Yo soy una especialista de la comunicación y management intercultural. Solo un comentario, que es lo que usted opina. El problema con la inteligencia artificial es que tiene sesgos culturales. La inteligencia artificial es una base de datos en la cual es en función de tu cultura, sea anglosajona, francesa, asiática, lo que tú vas a encontrar. Ese es el único pero que yo le veo a la inteligencia artificial.
Bueno, es correcto, pero por eso tenemos que tener una parte ética que es importante para la inteligencia artificial. Primero, lo que nos genera la inteligencia artificial no es realmente una base de datos en la que buscamos, sino que son bases de datos diagonales, por decirlo de alguna forma. Es decir, que no es una base de datos al uso, sino que los datos vienen de diferentes lugares y en diferentes formatos. Y de hecho, la tendencia va a ser a que las propias empresas, las grandes empresas y las pequeñas empresas, van a generar su propio modelo de lenguaje para trabajar sobre sus propios datos. Y por eso tenemos que tener mucho cuidado cuando vamos a buscar información. Por ejemplo, cuando hay un uso con los estudiantes que la persona es la que tiene que ver toda esa información que está saliendo, que la inteligencia artificial nos está creando, para asegurarnos de que no tiene esos sesgos, que pueden ser sesgos culturales, sesgos de género, sesgos de diversidad. Se nota mucho, por ejemplo, en las imágenes, ¿no? Porque si veis, ahora si os vais a fijar, seguro en toda la gente que está utilizando imágenes creadas con DALL-E o semejante, o con Midjourney, con inteligencia artificial, y vais a ver que tiene unos sesgos brutales. De hecho, nosotros, por ejemplo, en esta que os mostraba, le teníamos que poner, hazla a esta persona menos agraciada, porque siempre su tendencia era hacerla guapísima, ¿no? O cuando muéstrame ejemplos de personas que sean expertas en no sé qué, y tenías que decirle, muéstrame ejemplos de personas que sean asiáticas también, muéstrame ejemplos de personas que sean africanas, o muéstrame mujeres específicamente, porque me has dado todos los ejemplos, son ejemplos masculinos, ¿no? Como siempre digo, lo importante es el timonel que está creando esa información, porque la inteligencia artificial no crea. La inteligencia artificial se basa de los diferentes tokens, que son, ¿cómo se llaman a los diferentes elementos con los que trabaja la inteligencia artificial? Y va creando a partir de probabilidades. Cuanto más amplio es nuestro modelo, cuanto más amplio es ese universo de posibilidades que le damos a la inteligencia artificial, más valor vamos a poder generar. Por eso vamos a ver en los próximos años, Margarita, muchísimo trabajo en empresas que van a crear sus propios espacios y sus propios modelos de lenguaje aplicando la inteligencia artificial, para evitar todos estos sesgos, y además también se van a crear pues muchos, a nivel universitario, a nivel empresarial y demás, pues yo creo que va a haber muchas entidades que van a estar preocupadas por hacer que las diferentes inteligencias artificiales que son más generalistas o que son más populares, porque realmente nosotros estamos viendo ahora la inteligencia artificial generativa, que es un iceberg de todo lo que hay por detrás, ¿no? Entonces, no toda la inteligencia, no es que la inteligencia artificial esté sesgada, sino que tenemos que ver todos esos mundos de datos con los que se alimentan las diferentes inteligencias artificiales, que poco a poco sean más amplios, más diversos y, por supuesto, más interesantes para todo el mundo, ¿no? Que sean equitativos, etcétera, etcétera. Pero
Sí, muchísimas gracias.
nos da para mucho.
Sí,
Luciana.
hemos llegado, ya estamos sobre la hora de terminar. No sé si quieres decir una palabra de despedida para todos. Y yo les doy a todos las gracias por haberse conectado, por estar pendientes. Y esta grabación de este webinar lo vamos a compartir en el canal de YouTube, tanto nuestro como espero también de Gracia. Y lo vamos a tener muy en cuenta para futuros, todo este interés que se ha suscitado. So thank you so much for being here in the name of FIU Cyber, FIU Business, Globality, and Infinity. And thank you so much, Gracia, for giving us all this content, all your wisdom today.
Thank you so much. I think, I'm open to any of your questions, and you can follow me on LinkedIn and connect with me, and also with my email. And of course, I'll be delighted to talk to you and keep up with the conversation, because really, as I said, communication, connecting with people, and giving out our ideas and be able to connect with others, I think is the most important. So thank you so
Yes,
much.
and you have the email in the chat. You have Gracia's email. She can send you the bibliography and the slides also. So write to her. I don't know if you like to share something in the chat.
Yes,
But
I'll send Luciana, so you can all have the presentation and all the ideas, and also my contacts via email, so you can connect with me. Okay.
thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Saludos desde Madrid.
Saludos
Chao,
desde
chao.
Miami. Bye.